All right, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai is the Messiah, the only begotten Son of the Heavenly Father, which these are the true names of the Most High, and His only begotten Son in the ancient Hebrew tongue, and Lashon Kodash, which means holy language. Also want to give double honors to the elder apostles, the elder bishops, and the upcoming elders, which rule well, which teach well, a great millstone. I want to give peace and blessings unto the elect, the house of David, the 144,000 elect men, whoever you may be. And salute and shalom to the fellow laborers which testify of Yahweh Shai and publish his word. My name is Zakaria. And the focus of this lesson is pertaining to prophecy, which is something that we ought to look forward to. You know, we all ought to look forward to, according to the book of Proverbs, chapter 16. Let's get it real quick. Proverbs chapter 16. Bear with me. It's taking me a minute. All right, Proverbs chapter 11, verse 23. The desire of the righteous is only good. So the desire of the righteous is only good. Now, what is that good thing that we all ought to see in this existence, in this life, in this captivity that we are currently in? Is it riches? You know? Is it materialistic things? Is it power on this side? Is it vainglory? No, that's not the good thing. You know? And that's not the worthwhile thing. The good, pleasant, worthwhile thing is the word. You know? It's the kingdom. It's the prophecies. It's the salvation. It's the justice, which is synonymous with vengeance on our enemies. You know, it's the will of the Lord being done on the earth. That's that good thing that we all ought to see. So the righteous, the desire of the righteous is only good. You know, so when it comes to prophecy, we all ought to look forward to it. You know, we all ought to desire it. You know, hasten it. Be eager for it. You know, and a lot of things have been happening in the world. And I believe, ultimately these things that have been prophesied by the mouths of the prophets is near before us. You know, it's near before our eyes, man. You know, we heard these words, but it's going to come a time where we're going to experience these words, you know, such as world war, you know, famines, you know, evils, plagues, tribulation, you know, Jacob troubles, the great tribulation, you know, the MOTB, you know, these things are very near at hand. In fact, one, thing that caught my eye earlier this morning, is this report that I came across that reminded me of the book of Revelation chapter 17. And this is the thing that we all ought to do when it comes to receiving the Spirit, the gift that comes by the Spirit, the ability that comes by the Spirit is what? The ability to what? If you're a man, if you're a prophet, if you're a teacher, if you're an apostle, if you're a preacher, if the Lord have appointed you to be one, then you're going to have the ability, if you have the Spirit of truth, if you have the comfort, you're going to have the ability to interpret these things, to teach these things, to prophesy. But not only that, as for all you believers, you'll have the ability to foresee, to understand, Wisdom Solomon, it speaks in chapter 8, it speaks about Wisdom teacheth temperance and prudence. You know, prudence goes into foresight. You know, so we all ought to, utilize these gifts that the Lord has given us. This is the book. So let me just read this report. It says, Germany joins France and warns Donald Trump against threats to take control of Greenland from NATO ally Denmark. So what we're seeing now is, NATO being frustrated. NATO being the beast, mentioned in the book of Revelation, chapter 17, is being frustrated with the great whore, which represents America, the United States of America, man. And so we're possibly seeing, the build up to Revelation chapter 17, verse, if I'm not mistaken, verse 16. In fact, let's get it real quick. Verse 16, it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, which is NATO. These shall hate the whore and shall make her desolate and naked. So it's prophesied that you'll have NATO members despise or hate and be grieved with America, man, which will ultimately lead to them contributing to the destruction of America by way of missiles, by way of nuclear fire, nuclear warheads. It says, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So that fire is that nuclear fire, man. Fire from those missiles, man. And this is what we have to look forward to. Because here it is, this place was brought up by way of violence. This place was brought up by way of treachery, by way of broken treaties and covenants that the so-called white man made with the native Indians, with the Gadites. So this place, Esau, this place, America, and the people who founded this place, people who built it up, this place, they have strengthened this place by way of violence, by way of treachery, and by way of broken covenants. That's how this place prospered. So no wonder this place is going to go out the same way it came in, by way of violence, and by way of treachery. And that's exactly what it's going to be. Your own allies is going to help contribute to destroying you. And this is what the elder apostles have been prophesying on down, for a while, for years, man. And it speaks about in the book of Obadiah, which is not just going to be NATO, You're also going to have Russia, Arabian nations, Iran, contributing to the demise of America. Let's go to Obadiah real quick. Chapter 1. Obadiah chapter 1, verse, let's get verse 6. It says, really, we could start at verse 3. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, though that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. Yeah, and that symbolizes being in a high position, being at the top. And for a long time, America have been at the top. For a long time, Edom have been at the top in general. You know, the families of Edom, you know, which is your self-proclaimed white people, right? But for a long time, they have been at the clefts of the rocks, meaning at the very summit of the mountain, man. You know, especially by way of America. You know, America is your military power, your greatest for a long time. I ain't gonna say now, because now it's being succeeded by these China and, you know, Russia in different ways. But for a long time, America have been your greatest military superpower. You know, it says, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And yeah, and that same pride is going to lead to its own demise. You know, to make these certain moves, you know, to make these certain statements, these political, military moves on the world scene, because you believe that you can do it and get away with it, like you did, and like you got away with it before. That's going to lead to your own demise. You know, where you can no more, you know, really, you know, and well, one example of that is what, which pertains to prophecy, is what this man will try to do in the Middle East. You know, what this man will try to do or influence in the Middle East, that's going to end up backfiring on his ass. You know, because now those weaker nations have a helper, a guardsman, which is Russia. You know, now the weak saying they're strong, you know, and preparing to fight against you. You know, now nations are becoming more emboldened and frustrated with you. You know, and this is, you know, this word, this is prophecy against America. It says, verse 4 says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, which the eagle is in the ancient world, amongst the Romans, the eagle symbolizes power or strength and wisdom. You know, so though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and yeah, and that's the emblem of America. I ain't gonna say the official emblem of America, but with America, you always see an eagle. You know, it says, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. If thieves come to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, will they not leave some grapes? This is the point, verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? And yeah, he's being sought up. He's being searched out by the prophets, you know, by way of this, by way of the spirit, right? But the world, you know, currently is, you know, there's like a how shall I say it? There's a shift on the earth. There's been a shift on the earth, you know, of the people's minds, of nations' minds against America, against the state of Israel, against the Western world. You know, there was a time when America was the beauty of all nations. You know, you know, that great standard of a kingdom. You know, where all that's being exposed, all the treachery, all the political injuries that this man have caused. You know, it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. Now, when you go into that word confederacy, in fact, we could go into it now. It's from the Hebrew word
Strong's H1285. Berith.
which means a league a covenant, an alliance, a pledge, a league. So what is the allies of America? NATO. You know, um, and America and NATO, during this alliance have protected, defended, and helped each other, benefited each other. Especially America to NATO. But now you have this guy. Donald Trump, your king of Babylon, your king of America, basically, expressing his frustration with NATO, basically making it seem like, which I'm sure is true, making it seem like NATO is using America, and getting away with a lot of things, financially, and so there's frustration in this alliance. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Yeah, the men that were at peace with thee, your alliances, and prevailed against thee. So it's going to come a time when NATO is going to come against America. It says, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. They who have prospered by you, they who was defended or have gotten defensive protection from you, will end up prevailing against you. They who economically prosper by you, and buy your dollar, and they're going to end up prevailing against you. It says, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. And that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing that there's not really no understanding in this, in Washington amongst the elites. Let's go into that word understanding, which is from the Hebrew word.
Strong's H 8394. Tavun.
Which means
and
intelligence.
Second entry, Tevuna. And third entry, Tuvena.
All right, which means intelligence, discretion. In fact, when you go into that word discretion, man, the quality of behaving, this is in modern terms or definition of the word discretion, the quality of behaving or speaking in such a way as to avoid causing offense and revealing private information. Discernment, that word discretion is is from the discern, from the word discern or discernment. Let's go into the synonyms of the word discretion. Care, carefulness, caution, diplomacy, consideration. So Esau is losing his intelligence. Washington is losing his intelligence. Because we're going to see Washington, make different, bad mistakes, political mistakes. Do certain things and move in a certain way that will really actually contribute to its own demise and to its own adversity on the earth, instead of building better relations. Because when you look at the stance of these other nations, if America was righteous, and if America was intelligent and had understanding, then they would, it wouldn't really be hard for relations to be, which is not prophecy, right? But just speaking in what they call it, I forgot what they call it, but speaking outside of prophecy, which everything is about prophecy, but anyways, but speaking outside of prophecy, if they had understanding, then you know relations will be built back better, man. You know. You know. But I'm gonna close off from that. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. I'm gonna give double honors to the other apostles, other bishops, and upcoming notice, and all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Shalom.